All right, everyone, welcome to the video walkthrough for episode 79 of the Private Label Podcast. This week, we're talking about optimizing our listing with questions and answers. This is something that I see a lot of people overlooking when it comes to their listings on Amazon. There is a section towards the middle of the page right here called Customer Questions and Answers. Anyone can submit a question about your product and anyone can answer it. And it's really important to make sure, number one, that you have some questions on your listing, and number two, that the answers that are displaying here are the ones that you want displayed. So I want to encourage you to go to privatelabelpodcast.com or to iTunes or Stitcher. Make sure you listen to the podcast, episode 79, for a full breakdown of exactly what we're doing here. But I did want to give you this video walkthrough to let you kind of peek over my shoulder and show you what I'm talking about. This is the section right here on the screen for customer questions and answers. Now, if you don't have any questions, if your listing is fairly new, what you can do is seed a couple of questions. So have some friends or fellow sellers get on your listing and ask some common questions that you think people would want to know, and then go in there as the seller and answer those questions. Next thing I want to show you is how to manage which questions show up. So over to the left of the question here, you see it says 2 votes, 1 vote, 0 votes. Quite simply, the questions that show up here are the questions that have the most votes up as being helpful. So this is similar to upvoting or downvoting reviews. If you have upvotes for those questions, they'll show up here. The rest are buried down here where it says see more answered questions. So if I were to click that, it's going to show me 6 more answered questions for this particular product. Second thing that is really important to make sure is that you have the right answers for the questions. Now, sometimes it makes sense for you to answer the question and have your answer voted up, and you can do that by clicking on the question. This one says, is there really only one ingredient, chicken, in these treats? So you see here there's 3 answers. This one is by us, and you see the little seller icon there. It says, hi Alan, yep, one ingredient. There's also one that says the packaging says no additives, it's supposedly all natural, and a third one that says hello, as others have stated, this is all natural. All right, so what you'll notice is back on that question, ours is the answer that shows up here, and that's what we want. I want this answer because it's about ingredients. It's about something that's really important. I want that to be straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So I want it to be ours. Now, let's pretend that that wasn't showing up. Our answer wasn't showing up here. One of those other answers was showing up. Let's pretend maybe it was an answer that said, no, it has artificial coloring or it has additives. So we definitely don't want that one showing up. How do we make sure that the answer that we want to appear here, whether it's ours or one of the other answers, appears? You do that by clicking on the listing and then having people vote up for yes for this particular answer. So you see here, it says 1 of 1 found this helpful. Do you? Neither of these other 2 have any helpful votes. So that's the reason that Amazon is displaying the answer from us on this particular question. So what I really recommend is to get a group of 2 or 3 friends or family members, friends probably better than family members, maybe people that are also Amazon sellers. A small group will do. 5 or 6 of you should be more than sufficient, and just work together to help optimize your questions and answers by voting up on the questions you want to appear on this main page, and by also voting up on the answers that you want to appear right under the question for those particular situations. Now, let's talk about a situation where you might want your answer not to show up. You instead want one of the answers that a customer has submitted instead. And that would be anything that has to do with efficacy or whether the product works, whether they like the product, something like that. If somebody says, hey, do dogs really like these dog treats? I can answer, but my answer is going to be biased, right? Because I'm the seller, I'm the manufacturer of this product. So what would be more beneficial there is if I have a customer answer voted up because it has more clout. It's viewed as being unbiased. So if you have a situation or a question like that and you have an answer from a customer that's good, that's glowing, go ahead and have that answer voted up so that that appears first. All right, let me know your questions in the comments under this video or on privatelabelpodcast.com, and check back next week for another Listen and Learn episode and the corresponding video walkthrough. We'll see you then.